spend a lot more on them than I do on myself.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's almost not necessarily a bad idea to focus on the under 18 group. And WWE did that throughout the 80s and made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, advertisers hate that they just can't hit that demographic like they used to be able to.
Yeah, and even in the late 90s during the Attitude Era, some of the biggest sales were to little kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even while they were doing the Suck It and Austin flipping them off and Hell Yeah and all of that. The cat's tits being exposed on Monday Night Raw, all that shit happened. Yeah. They were still probably selling more to the young kids than the 18 to 40. So I'm not saying it's wrong or not. And of course, 18 to 40 is the demographic that most advertisers want. But it's a different world now.
It's also the same age bracket of parents generally.
Yeah, and it's a different world now where advertising on TV is less of a piece of the pie than it used to be back during the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Advertising on TV is probably, gotten less than half than what it used to be, probably. I'd say internet is the biggest.
Yeah, the internet's really swooping in and taking things over. Like I said, YouTube is a powerhouse when it comes to any kind of content digestion.
For sure.
And, yeah, it's crazy.
And YouTube gets me. They have those ads, and it's like skip ad in 5 seconds, but I'll watch it, and I start liking what I watch. I'll keep watching it, even though I can literally skip it at any time. I'll continue to watch it because I enjoy it.
Yeah, the only thing that gets me is when they sneak in like the 30-minute ads. That's a video in itself. I don't know if you get that very often, but it does happen.
See, somebody else told me about that, and I've never had a video longer than 15 seconds that I can't skip.
It might be only like when you're watching on computer or like a console or something.
That's what I've heard is on computer it does that.
They can't get you with the ribbon bands on TV either, but every fucking video you get a click out of 3 of those if you're watching on computer.
Yeah, I watch on both console and smart TV, and I've never gotten those, but a coworker of mine said he would get those a lot too, but he said it was on computer. So I don't know how they do it, but man, it's different from where you watch it for sure.
Yeah.
And I think because they know. You know what I mean? When you're watching it on TV, they know you're not going to put up with that shit. When you're watching it on computer, you're just going to sit there and watch it.
Yep. And that's the big thing is shorter content on YouTube generates more ads per video. So you're getting more ads in your digestion than you generally would on TV in most cases.
Oh, yeah, 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to see AEW's in the lead here, and I'm hoping they hold it for 84 weeks.
I hope they keep it. I just hope they keep it to where they stay viable. I want it to be AEW and WWE neck and neck. And then going forward, I want to see Impact move up to there and have the 3 of them neck and neck. And then moving forward, NWA or MLW. And that's what I really want to see. I'm happy that they're all doing well. And maybe they can all do well in different demographics. And so they'll get different advertisers, and they're not even fighting for the same advertiser.
Then they could be partners. They could partner up, and the world could rejoice.
Yeah,
and they could cure COVID and cancer and poverty.
They won't do that. But as it is now, Pasty, it's almost just a big nightmare.
Yes, indeed. The Nightmare Factory Wrestling School has officially announced their launch for the week of Monday, September 21st. The school in Norcross, Georgia will begin development camps for up and coming pro wrestling talents that week. The camps are running for 3 months at a time. AEW used the facility for some of their Dynamite and Dark TV tapings. AEW Executive Vice President and TNT Champion Cody Rhodes is a coach, as is QT Marshall, Carolyn Fiazzo-Quarry.
Exactly.
Is the nutritionist, and Rhodes and Marshall are also the owners and operators.
So we got a new wrestling school coming out.
Yes.
And you could almost you can almost guarantee that it's going to be a feeder system for AEW.
Oh, of course. This is your NXT right here.
Yeah. Which isn't a
good.
bad thing.
It's
every major company has had a feeder system, and that's very good. We like that.
Yeah, and like we were saying last week, like Dark, they've been featuring a lot of not signed talent. And I would like to see them go through this developmental and come back to AEW, because a lot of these talents have been fairly impressive, because they do let them get some offense in these matches, which is something WWE only does if you don't have a chin.
Well, Pasty, if you want to hear about some people who are making a name for themselves in AEW, we got comings and goings, and we definitely got some updates for you on AEW. We're going to start out with former WWE star Zack Ryder, who debuted on AEW to help Cody from an attack on this week's Dynamite. Zack Ryder, who now goes by the name Matt Cardona. Arn Anderson added that the Broski and Cody go a long way back, and Cody has full trust in Matt Cardona.
And next week, he's going to hit Cody directly in the face with a chair.
We hope they play it out longer than that.
I had to. When I heard he was there, I had to go check it out. And I was kind of disappointed to see that Cody was getting jumped by the Dark Order. But, you know, it is what it is, and whatever. But I got to say, Matt Cardona looks way bigger than Zack Ryder ever did. And I think... I'm interested to see what comes of this. I know he's Cody's friend and he's just getting preferential treatment and whatever. But, I don't know. We all liked Long Island IZ back in the day. I'd like to see what he can do when he's given the cue to go.
So, I have a question. Do you think he looks bigger because he's bulked up over his hiatus? Or do you think it's a Impact Ring of Honor sort of deal where... NXT sort of deal where he looks bigger because he's in a group of folks that are just a little bit smaller on average?
I think it's definitely both.
Yeah?
Because he's got an intimidating presence to him. Heath Slater tried to do the same thing on Slammiversary. And he kind of had a better look than he did on WWE, but it was still Heath Slater at the end of the day. I feel like Matt Cardona and Zack Ryder are two different beings. And I'm looking forward to what we get out of this.
Cool beans.
Yes. Former WWE talent and Total Divas star Cameron. I've been missing her so much. The Funkadactyls all day, baby. Well, she's now All Elite under the new name of Arian Andrew. She's now tag team partners with former AEW Women's Champion Nyla Rose in the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament, and I'm expecting them to win.
Yeah, I think they could definitely win this one.
That's a dominant team, and I actually, if they make it to the finals and lose and have a fallout and there's a match, I'm totally down with that too.
Right.
Yes.
And with all the ex-WWE names coming in, I gotta be honest, this next one, Pasty, coming to AEW is the one that I'm most excited for, to be honest. AEW also announced that indie wrestling veteran Eddie Kingston is signed with the company. Yes, the 18-year veteran pro has had stints with Ring of Honor, the NWA, Chikara Pro, and Impact Wrestling, CZW, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. AEW wrote in a tweet today, as we record this, "Welcome to the team, Mad King Eddie Kingston. He is all elite. Sign Eddie Kingston is now Eddie Kingston is signed." The former Chikara Grand Champion and CZW Heavyweight Champion made his AEW debut last week by answering the open challenge by AEW TNT Champion Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody did win that match, but Kingston received rave reviews in and out of the company. Kingston reacted to the announcement by writing, "The stray dog is off the chain." Now, there's no news on if he will still work with NWA like others have, or is joining exclusively but I am so excited to see Eddie Kingston there because he is one badass wrestler who deserves so much more than he's gotten.
Dude, the big guys are coming.
They are.
AEW is not going to be little guys forever. And I'm interested in seeing what happens with this changing of the guard. Like, it's going to be a whole different feel for AEW going forward.
Which is good.
Excited. Yes.
Yeah, very good to have the to have the variety.
Like, no, 3 months ago I would have said there's nobody feasible to take the title off of Jon Moxley. But, like, now it's kind of starting to pile up a little bit. It's cool.
Right?
It's cool. I like it a lot. Welcome Eddie Kingston to AEW. It's great. PW Insider and Fightful have both reported Leon Ruff has officially signed with WWE. This comes in the wake of the closing and purchase of Evolve Wrestling, where Ruff was once a tag team champion. Before signing, Ruff has been rough in WWE rings, with such talent as Aleister Black, Karrion Kross, and Sheamus. Outside the ring, Leon is in a relationship with Aja Smith. She recently made history by becoming the first African-American female WWE referee. That's cool. Cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to WWE misusing him and then letting him go. For sure.
Undoubtedly.
Talking about people that WWE misuse, FTR are officially all elite. You may think this is redundant news, but they have an official contract now rather than operating on a handshake deal, which apparently they have been doing up until now. So
yeah, I remember just like a month ago they were talking about how they weren't going to sign to one place and they wanted to bounce around and do their thing. That's why the name was floating and going to change.
And so now they've signed an exclusive deal, so they are exclusively all elite.
I'm excited for that too. I really want their tag team division to really get its gears in motion because they have the best tag team division out there. They're just not being used right at the moment.
100%, 100% they do.
Yes. And of course, Excalibur missed Wednesday's AEW Dynamite tapings. No reason was given for his absence at the time, but Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Excalibur made it to Jacksonville, Florida to fulfill his role as an announcer on the show, but he was held off from TV due to a video that has recently been trending online that shows both AEW announcer and Excalibur and current WWE star Kevin Owens using racial slurs during a promo at a PWG show in the early 2000s. The video has been posted on social media over the years, but regained traction over the past week. Excalibur can be seen grabbing the microphone and asking if Super Dragon feels comfortable replacing them with the men in the ring. However, he uses racial slurs to describe them. Owens then grabs the mic and emphasizes one of the slurs to further antagonize on one of the opponents, Human Tornado. Owens' racist line was actually taken from Steve Austin in The Longest Yard, in which Austin played a racist police officer. There was a lot of wrestlers saying some bad stuff in that movie.
Yeah. So this is, first of all, this is bad. And just to let people listening get an idea what they said, they used the bean word in referring to a Hispanic and the N-word in referring to an African American. Now, this is one of those weird things. It was a different time. They were playing a character. Do I personally, Fat Mac, think that they believed the things they were saying and were saying those things out of spite and hatred? I do not, personally. I think they were playing a role, and they said what they were saying in a company that used racism as part of their storylines and happened often at that time. Look back to Vince McMahon using the N-word.
Yeah.
It happened.
Look at the entire JBL run.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not right. It's not right at all. It wasn't right then, let alone now. Do you punish the guys now? Honestly, I guess that's up to the companies that they work for.
Yeah, honestly, for AEW, it's probably smartest to keep them off TV, at least for this week. They should be longer, but we saw last week with the Sammy